YouTube? It's your favorite YouTuber here, Jaron, and today I lied.
What the f?
I didn't really lie. I'm a man of my word. Today is Saturday right now. You're probably not watching this on Saturday. You're probably watching this tomorrow. Or the next day. So, I'm dropping about 3 to 4 videos in one day. Oh, I'm like, yeah, you keep saying it. Just be quiet and watch. I don't even have to say anything, just watch. You can see for yourself. I have a special video for you guys today. We are going to react to some animals. Why not? I love learning about animals and creatures that I have no idea how they function or look like or work. Like, they're just like us, but they're just not humans. That's it. That's really it. We're just gonna be reacting to animals that have mysterious features or things that they did that were weird in some type of way. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys subscribe. It really helps me trying to go for it, and I really appreciate it. All right, let's get into the video. All right, guys. So this video is called "This Animal Should Have Died a Long Time Ago." I don't know what to expect. And I like creepy stuff, if you guys didn't know that. I love scary movies and all that, so let's get into the video. It's the We Are on Top dude, or whatever. What the heck? No! It has 2 legs. Why would you kick?
Steve, what happened?
What
Steve,
the
what's
heck?
wrong? Oh yeah, I saw that video. This dog was adopted by kind people. Now it's a full-fledged member of their family and lives a happy dog life. Look, they even made a special wheelchair for it. But I agree with you on one thing. I don't understand how people can be so heartless to abandon a poor animal. Good thing the dog continues to live on as if nothing had happened.
Exactly.
Just like this buck.
That's what makes animals cool.
It seems very strange, even unbelievable, that a buck can live like this. Yes, this buck really has no back hooves, only bony nubs he walks on. That's bare bones. Still, the buck somehow survived, and apparently quite a lot of time has passed since it lost its hooves. Though the poor animal could have been hunted down by predators a long time ago, or did it manage to run away fast enough? Or is it just a case of incredible luck? Another question that really bothers me is how this could happen to the poor animal in the first place. Well, there are several theories. All of them are pretty nasty. Perhaps a buck once got into a trap or was hit by a hunter's bullet. Maybe it's all about the infection, aka hoof rot. When deer live in a humid environment long enough, their hooves can be easily damaged, even when they walk normally. All it takes is a tiny cut from some branch for the bacteria to get in and, well, you get the idea. But there is another theory, which, by the way, would explain why 2 hooves were damaged at once. Maybe the animal fell under a hay mower when it was small. Keep in mind, this machine has damn sharp blades. Actually, the vast majority of animals always pretend they feel just fine, even when seriously injured. Though that's just an appearance. In one of my previous videos, I said that's how animals try to trick predators, because they always prey on weak and sick animals. What if there was a way to get rid of the pain? Scientists also thought about this and did some tests on chickens. Some of them were healthy, some were lame. The birds were given 2 types of food, with and without painkillers. Scientists then taught them to determine which is which, and then offered them a choice. The chickens who were in pain preferred food with painkillers. Under the right conditions, animals can act like they're weak, but when it comes to survival, animals are ready to do all it takes. Even consume the milk of a dead sheep. Yes, it sounds disgusting, but this is exactly the scene a Dutch farmer from Uskert village witnessed. One of his sheep died, and the baby seal apparently lost his mother and happened to be too far from the sea. He was too hungry and found a way out. The farmer, of course, was in shock. I'll spoil the ending of this story right away. The seal was fine. He was taken to a special center, nursed back to health, and released into the sea. Of course, I feel sorry for the sheep, though the story's very touching. Still, it seems weird when you think about it. A pregnant, dead sheep, a seal, milk. Too many coincidences. Steve and I, of course, immediately looked into this, and you know what? The story's quite real. In the Netherlands, sheep often roam the coast, so the baby seal found a food source really quickly. At the same time, pregnant sheep can't stand up if they fall and die due to internal organ failure. This explains why the sheep was actually dead. Some animals are quite capable of sustaining themselves on the milk of other animals, well, at least for a while. For example, bison cubs in shelters are fed milk from cows and sheep, and they feel just fine. But if this story doesn't seem incredible enough to you, how about the cat that survived being trapped in a box? And no, Schrödinger had nothing to do with it. The owner of a Siamese cat, Cupcake, from Cornwall, spent 8 days looking for her missing pet and eventually decided she was gone for good. The woman had no idea that Cupcake was not going anywhere. She just jumped into the box to take a nap. You know, cats love boxes. But Cupcake couldn't know that this box of DVDs was going to be shipped to West Sussex by her owner. And her owner sent this box. The cat spent 8 days in the box. 8 days! During this time, the package traveled 260 miles. Cupcake survived only by a miracle and was severely dehydrated. But imagine the surprise of the recipients of the package when they unpacked the box and found a cat inside. Of course, Cupcake needed treatment, but after this, she was returned to her owner. And this bird is called the bearded vulture. And like most birds, bearded vultures can fly. So when locals found a bearded vulture in Georgia who couldn't take off, they got worried. The bird was taken to the Tbilisi Zoo and from there to the vet clinic where they took an x-ray and found a knife inside the bearded vulture. A stationary knife, 8 inches long. How can an animal swallow something like this and stay alive? By the way, despite this predicament, the bearded vulture continued to eat, though flying was out of the question. Of course, in the end, they carefully removed the knife, the bird recovered, but why would the bearded vulture come up with the idea to eat something quite inedible in the first place? After all, this is not an isolated case. Different stuff is pulled out of the bearded vultures. One time they even pulled out an axe. The reason lies in the bird's diet. Bearded vultures feed on bones, swallowing them whole if possible, and if a bone is too large, they'll drop it on stones to break it into smaller pieces. It may not sound nutritious, but bones contain bone marrow. Plus, bones are made of calcium. This is enough to fill the bird up, and the acidity of a vulture's stomach helps digestion. Also, bearded vultures always have something to eat, because other animals most often ignore bones. In short, only pros. Except for the fact that birds can mistake knives and axes for bones. Otherwise, that's a great meal. After all, bearded vultures can survive swallowing weird stuff, though not without a vet's intervention. Well, Sparky didn't need a vet to survive something. You know Sparky. He's kind of a celebrity.
Sparky.
In the summer of 2013, this large bison was struck by lightning. It scorched the fur on his back and then apparently went through his leg. But Sparky didn't seem to be worried at all about that. He just kept standing and casually chewing grass. Keep in mind, there are cases when large moose died after being hit by lightning, not to mention sheep and deer, which die in dozens during a thunderstorm. But Sparky survived. And for the next 5 years, he kept amazing scientists and tourists. There's a reason I mention moose and sheep among the victims of lightning. Like many other animals, they move on 4 limbs. And these 4 limbs make animals especially vulnerable during a thunderstorm.
I'm so confused.
It all comes down to grounding. Humans, as bipedal creatures, have 2 points of contact with the earth. The circuit is short, electricity travels up one leg, sometimes touches the internal organs, and then runs down to the other leg. It's enough to kill a person, actually, but there's still a chance to survive. What about animals? Let's say lightning strikes the ground, flows into one leg of an animal, then goes higher and meets another leg. Then it goes on to the next one, and so on. On its way, the discharge hits all the vital organs. Surviving this is almost impossible. As for Sparky, well, he's probably just the exception to the rule. Because sometimes nature doesn't work the way it should at all. Look, here's a simple example. You can find many articles on the web claiming kangaroos can't live without a tail. It's impossible, because for them, the tail's like the 5th leg they use all the time to keep balance during jumps, to save strength, to help them walk and fight. In short, that's a useful thing that appeared in the course of evolution, and the kangaroos can't survive without it. Ha! Tell him about it. or her. I'm honestly not sure if this kangaroo's a male or a
That's
female,
crazy.
but it does fine without a tail. Here it is hopping with the others. It's doing okay. But that, of course, doesn't mean kangaroos don't treasure their tails. Seriously, don't touch them. After all, kangaroos can punch you.
You got it.
All the animals I mentioned today are very lucky. Each of them could have died if the circumstances had been a little bit different. But in
Little
each of our
turtle, dude.
videos, there's always a story that simply blows my mind. Today, it features a small turtle, which scientists discovered in a largemouth bass, alive. You see, this doesn't happen every day. But the most incredible thing about this is that this exact bass was first caught by biologists, brought to the research center for study, and that's when they found a turtle inside. It was in the stomach, alive and unharmed. Although, to be fair, we should say that turtles can survive against all odds, even when sharks bite them. And this is not a rare case. Marks of these attacks can be seen on many sea
I've seen
turtles.
some messed up turtles.
They also have
yeah.
nerves of steel. No, I really mean it. What would you do if a tiger shark showed up next to you? Personally, I'd try to get to the shore in a flash, perhaps yelling loudly, but loggerhead sea turtles just go on with their turtle lives, completely ignoring the danger. Yeah, that's a shark. So what? So if turtles can recover even from a powerful bite, then they have nothing to worry about. Perhaps we should be concerned about those who bite them. All right, it wasn't the turtle that did it. That's injuries crocodiles inflict on each other while fighting. This happens quite often in the wild, though it's not so easy to film a crocodile with a broken jaw. It's a wild animal after all. Most often, people
That's
take
crazy.
care of these crocodiles without jaws because it's not clear how long the croc would last without it. It's hard to bite prey when you have,
Look.
well, nothing to bite it with. But sometimes crocodiles
Look, they look
survive on their
goofy.
own. And judging by their size, they don't starve. I have no idea how they manage. Getting food is not the problem. How would a croc survive with such an injury
Its
and not
tail's
get some
gone
kind of
too?
infection? Perhaps it all comes down to their amazing regeneration abilities. Actually, young alligators can regrow up to 9
True.
inches of a tail if they lose it, and these are the largest animals on the planet that can do this. So maybe other representatives of the croc order also got some regeneration skills.
Like, nobody
After
can
all,
stop
they
an
somehow
alligator or a
survived for
crocodile.
tens of millions
You
of
cannot
years,
stop that.
unlike dinosaurs who failed to do so. See you later.
Yes, they're like dinosaurs. You can't stop them. You just can't. That was a good video. Alright, guys. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Animals are just kind of, I told you, they're like us. Where God or whoever that made animals, like, they're just OP. Like, you saw the deer, no feet, just bones, still alive. Animals are just, that's crazy. I don't know what to say. Wow. And they don't show emotions like us. Like, they're really strong. They're in nature for a reason. All right, guys. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys punch that like button and subscribe.